If you're watching this video, it is because you're looking to make changes and create order in your environment, which is a reflection of how orderly your cranial universe is. Yes, your wonderful brain is asking for a change. When we created this workshop called UCO with 4 master classes for full activation, the first thing I did was to put it in practice in my life. Here in Vimes, everything that we teach is effectively tested, and in my case, the results were amazing. The truth is that when your brain is organized, everything around you becomes organized. As explained by Tao Rivallo, a psychologist who specialized in cognitive behavioral therapy, cleanliness and order greatly influence our mental health. Human beings tend to always search for balance, both internally and externally, and that has to do with our environment. If we look around, everything requires order, even in nature. So we're programmed for that order. I've experienced enormous changes in my life by applying certain things. I thought I was a very organized person, but the truth was I didn't realize I was rigid. So the question arises, what is the difference between being orderly and being rigid? Well, our health helps us to answer that question. If to keep your environment clean and beautiful and your life in order with an agenda and a good schedule, you end up with body pain, pain in your back, a tense neck, I assure you that you are rigid. You're not enjoying the process of being organized. This is a sign that enters your brain, and the brain then sends that message to your beautiful body, and there go the aches and pains. On the contrary, if you enjoy doing what you're doing while you're doing your chores, you fulfill your daily goals, you start by writing them down without spending a whole lot of time on it and no stress, then it means you're doing it really well. You're relaxed, and your body's like, this is good. It tells you when you finish your task to even applaud yourself and say, job well done. Now rest. That was my case. And then that was of the first participants as well, their experience of the Masterclass UCO, which is short for Organized Cranial Universe. From rigidity when organizing their environment and their life in general, they discovered that flexibility is the key, and they began to see with each workshop challenge that organizing can be relaxing and positive in every aspect. Now let's talk about the benefits you'll get by doing your UCO workshop. First, you'll learn simple techniques that are very effective when it comes to organizing yourself at home, work, or even with schoolwork. Your personal organization from this moment will be very different. The second is you will optimize your mental health while your environment is organized, achieving full balance. Remember, mental health is fundamental in every aspect of our lives. Third, you will enjoy the accompaniment of an instructor who's a coach. You'll have daily communication with her and with your classmates. This is something other online academies do not offer. You will have the skills to put into practice with your family, with everyone else who wants to. And we could also mention that the support material you receive is unlike any other. In the information of this Masterclass UCO, you have everything in detail regarding the benefits of doing this amazing, organized cranial universe workshop. Hello, hello, hola, hola, good evening, happy Monday. How's everybody doing? Where are we logging in from? I already see we have some faithful
warriors on this channel. Elvin Marinez, hello from Queens. Hey. Oh, he already got started. He said, don't forget to hit the like button. I forgot that last week. Um, Yolanda Elver from Palm Bay, Anne Marie Nunez from Springfield, Roxy Ebony from Palm Bay, Marion Bailey, Crystal and Lisa. I'm looking at my phone so I can see the messages from Springfield, Mass. And Joanne Nunez, hello from Springfield, Mass. As usual, the competition between Springfield and Florida. Let's see who wins tonight. So good to have you all here. We have a really, really good topic tonight about self-acceptance, self-love, self-esteem, something that probably the majority of the people on this earth struggle with. Really, really interesting. If you're on and you want to chat and you're trying to and you can't, it's because we need you to subscribe. If you hit the subscribe button, there's no charge. Wait 60 seconds, excuse me, then you'll be able to comment, because I would love, if you're here, I would love to know that you're here. Miss Queens, hey. Good to have you, Shanae. So yeah, if anyone is here and they want to comment in the chat and that's not allowing you to, it means that we need you to subscribe, and that's good. This is the time, if you have a friend, a family member, anyone you could think of that could benefit from this information, this will be the time to send them the link and share it with them. And that way, hey, it's from Houston, Texas. Good to see you. Good to have you here. I was told tonight by our administration that every time a person subscribes to our channel and watches one of our videos, it allows us to help 5 out of 10 people who suffer from anxiety or depression. That's a very interesting statistic. YouTube probably told them that, the team. So that's really encouraging, and we want to help as many people as we can. So please share the message, share the link. Even if they can't get on live, we'd love to have them live, but if they can't, they can watch the replay on YouTube. So hi to those seeing this in the future, because this is really good stuff. Okay, I'll keep looking over here to my phone if anyone else jumps on. Okay, so here's the question. What is balanced and healthy self-love? We hear of it, self-esteem, self-love, self-acceptance, but what is it? Let's define it. Excuse me. It's a form of self-esteem that's characterized by an appreciation and acceptance of ourselves without, because this is what people are concerned with, without falling into egocentrism where the world, the universe revolves around me in a very unbalanced way. And it's also not excessive self-indulgent. Like I can do whatever I want. I can be totally selfish in a very negative way. Self-love, a healthy and balanced self-love, is a balance between recognizing your strengths and accepting your limitations. We all have them. And then that allows us to continually grow and have a harmonious relationship with others. And that's what we all want. No one is perfect. We all have strengths and limitations, and we have to realize that we are such complex beings. Beyonce, you made it. Hey, girlfriend, good to have you here. So we want to be able to accept ourselves and love ourselves, even though we have limitations. But who doesn't? That's the question. Have you ever met anyone who doesn't have limitations? No, it doesn't exist right now on this earth. So we have to accept ourselves for who we are as a whole. Now here, last week I did a lot of revealing, self-revealing, right? This week I want you to share some more about you. If you could we're going to talk about emotional symptoms of a lack of self-love. How do we know if we lack self-love? Because a lot of us, I was having a conversation with friends last night, we walk around like, oh, I got this, right? And perhaps in certain areas of our life, we're doing it. But it could be a facade, and other people think we got it all together. And we have this way about ourselves that we really are confident, but deep down we're not. So how can we know that we might be we might be deceiving ourselves too? So how can we know? if we have a lack of self-love, I'm gonna share. It's a list of emotional symptoms, and I would love for you to be honest with yourself. And if something rings, it makes noise in your mind, you're like, oh yeah, I feel that. Just put me in the chat. No one will know which one you're responding to, but we're all family and friends here. We're human beings, so we all have at least one of these symptoms. Feel free to share. Don't be bashful. Okay, and we'll see what kind of results we get by the end. Excessive self-criticism, a highly critical inner voice that constantly points out our flaws and mistakes. Another one, low self-esteem, feeling inferior, unworthy, or inadequate, and having a negative self-perception. Here's another one, lack of confidence, doubting our abilities and decisions, and fearing criticism and rejection. We make a decision and then we doubt ourselves. Should I have done that? It's a whole thing. Anxiety and depression, persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, anxiety, or a combination of these. I don't see any me's yet, but okay, they've started. Okay, here we go. We're going to be just straight up and honest, right? There's no judgment here. Total non-judgment zone. Let me take a little sip of water. Okay. Need for approval, constantly seeking validation and approval from others to feel good about yourself. How about denial of achievements, downplaying or minimizing your own successes and accomplishments? People like, that was so good, and you're like, I could have done better. Okay, perfectionism, feeling that you must do everything perfect. Everything you do has to turn to gold, leading to extreme self-demand, right? Excessive guilt, feeling guilty for minor mistakes or situations beyond your control. That's the key. The situation or mistake is beyond your control and you feel guilty for it. That's excessive guilt. Now, in interpersonal relationships, here are some symptoms. Difficulty setting boundaries, right? Struggling to say no and allowing others to take advantage of you. That's a good one. Toxic relationships, attracting or maintaining relationships where there's abuse, manipulation, lack of respect, and you put up with that, maintain and attract that, or attract and maintain that because deep down, you don't feel that you deserve any better. That's deep. People pleasing, going to great lengths to please others, even at the expense of your own needs and desires. Emotional dependence, constantly needing the presence and support of others to feel good and complete. You don't feel good when you're by yourself. You're very uncomfortable. Fear of conflict, avoiding confrontations and conflicts at all costs, fearing rejection and loss of affection from others. Constant comparison. Oh, we're being really, thank you guys for being really honest. Just a little side note, dimpled face, hi. I'm glad you're enjoying the topic. We all need it. It's good for all of us. So good to have you here. Thanks so much for coming, Cindy. Here's another one, constant comparison. Continually comparing yourself to others, leading to feelings of envy, jealousy, or inferiority. Social withdrawal, withdrawing from social interactions because you feel unworthy about this company or fear of being judged. And that kind of goes in line with the comparisons, because I withdraw because I'm thinking this person is perfect and I'm not worthy of their company. They're going to see my imperfections and judge me. So I'll stay home. I won't even go there to that party or whatever I'm being invited to. Audrey, hey, good to have you. And then lack of assertiveness. This is the last one. Not expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs openly and directly, allowing others to make decisions for you, because it's, that feeling of inferiority, it drips into that too. And so you don't have a voice. And isn't that something how that could be linked to a toxic relationship, because that person wants to dominate you. So they glad you don't have a voice. You don't feel comfortable, confident enough to speak up. and they do with you what they want to do with you. So I see a lot of me's, right? It's like a mirror. And again, I appreciate your honesty, because I don't think any human being could sit and listen to this and say, oh no, I don't deal with any of that because we're human, right? But recognizing the symptoms is the first step towards addressing them and then improving our relationship with ourselves. I talk about that all the time because it's so important. We were not taught to improve our relationship with ourselves. We're always taught, smile. When you get there, you make sure when they speak to you, you say hello, mind your manners, right? You shake hands, the hug, whatever, call him Mr. So-and-so, make sure you behave in school. I better not get a bad report. But no one teaches us to have a good relationship with ourselves, to look inward and be happy and proud and confident in who we are ourselves. It's just not taught. But how could our parents teach us something that they didn't know? Not their fault. They weren't taught it. But we can start a new trend, right? And then pass that down to the next generation, which would be a beautiful thing, to have the next generation walking around with good self-esteem, self-love. Beautiful. Okay. So here are 9 key aspects of balance and healthy self-love. We've seen the symptoms that we don't have it. Let's see what we can make our ideal so we can see what it looks like, right? The first one, it's 9. You can take notes if you'd like. This is really good stuff. Self-acceptance. Recognizing and accepting your strengths and weaknesses. And here's the key, without harsh judgment, because again, that's why we don't have self-love, because we're very much aware of our weaknesses, very much aware of the errors we've committed in the past, and some of my strengths, right? But we harshly judge ourselves. We need to accept ourselves. That judgment has to stop, and understand that everyone has imperfections, and that does not diminish our worth as a person. Our cars, unless we just pulled it off the lot, has imperfections. It may have, especially here in New York with parallel parking and all that. Every car has a little nick, a little scratch. If the car is 10 years old with a lot of mileage, something is going on. There are things, but we still need our car. Our car is still good. It still works for us enough to keep it on the road, right? And so how much more so us as a person, our value, despite our imperfections, which make us who we are. Deborah Owens, hello. Good to have you here. Number 2, self-compassion. Being kind and understanding towards yourself, especially during times of failure or difficulty. Treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a close friend in a similar situation. We don't have self-love, but we can give it to somebody else. But you still did good. Don't worry, you'll do better than that. We can give it. But do we give it to ourselves? You notice self-compassion, being kind and understanding towards ourselves. Instead of beating ourselves up with that harsh judgment, what we would tell a friend, say it to ourselves. It didn't turn out the way you wanted, but we're going to do better the next time. Talk to yourself positively. That self-compassion is so important. Here's one that we hear all the time, self-care. And we usually put it with, I'm getting my nails and my mani-pedi and my hair done. Those are nice. And we want to, when you look good, you feel good. And if we can afford it, sure. But prioritizing your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. That's even more important than the nails and the hair and the makeup. Getting our exercise in, creating an environment where we are being nurtured and fed emotionally and mentally. And that includes healthy habits like good nutrition, exercise. Here's a good one, adequate rest, and time for activities you enjoy. A lot of us know, good nutrition and exercise, we'll say, I gotta get to that. I'm doing it 2 days. I want to do it 4, right? But what about adequate rest? Do we burn the candle on both ends? Are we working too hard? We do a lot of overtime. We come home, it never ends. We're working in the home. We're doing this, we're doing that, because we never, right? I'm just going to get to the next one, healthy boundaries. It almost slipped out. and we don't rest. Some people take pride and say, oh no, I don't sleep during the day. And that's fine. But for those of us that need to, a 20-minute little siesta does the body a whole lot of good. Do it if you can, or make time for it so that you're not drained physically. You can function better, and that's a form of self-care, getting the proper rest. And also time for activities you enjoy. Sometimes we're in a family, and it's usually the woman in the family, the wife, the mom, or even single women, and they do what everybody else wants to do. The husband, the kids, my friends, they want to go here, they wanted to see this movie, they want to do that. And I've been wanting to go to see this particular museum for the longest, but oh, I won't say anything because no, make time for things you enjoy. A sweet subscriber that's here faithfully on Mondays texted me the other day and said she signed up for private swimming lessons. I'm like, go girl, go you. I imagine it's something she's always wanted to do. Now she's making the time for it. Make time for the things that you enjoy, because we're here to enjoy life, right? Juanita, hey, from Richmond, Virginia, so glad to have you here. And number 4, healthy boundaries. This is so important. Knowing when to say, you know it's coming, no. And setting clear boundaries with others, not passive aggressive, kind of saying yes, kind of saying no, maybe I'll check, let me see, and you put it off because you don't want to just say no. But we have to protect our time and our energy. It's so important. Charmaine said no, yes. And look, it helps us to maintain balance and respectful relationships. We all have limitations. You may invite me to something that I just don't want to do. It's okay. Or I'm trying to prioritize rest. And so I would love to go, but I really need that Saturday I set aside and I said, when I come in from my activities around 3 o'clock, the rest of the evening is for me just to curl up on the couch, paint my nails, read a book, whatever I've wanted to do. I'm going to make time for that. But you have to set clear boundaries and say no when necessary. Okay. And it's not being mean, it's not being selfish. The person on the other end who's not used to you setting boundaries they may be very vocal about, how dare you? I need you to do this. You're supposed to do this. You always help me with this. How can you tell me no? What are you doing? All you're doing is resting, but I asked you. That's not a respectful relationship. That's why we have to set the boundaries, and they have to be clear and firm. Our no is no. It's just 2 little letters, just no. And we don't have to give explanations. It's just no, because we have to take care of ourselves and love ourselves. It's really, really important. Time to train others to respect our boundaries, says Miss Queens, New York. Yes. And is it easy? Not in the least bit. Very challenging, especially if we're not used to saying no and the people around us are used to us just saying yes, yes, yes. It's a retraining, but nothing changes unless you change. When you change and you're taking care of yourself better, other people, they don't have a choice. They may kick and scream, but if it's something that really is important to them, they'll do it for themselves. They'll take care of it. The world won't collapse. I have a client and we talk about that all the time. And I say, and when you said no, what happened? Did the world fall apart? And she says, no. But in our minds, we feel like it will, but it won't. It never does. Anne Marie says, saying no and not giving explanation, something I'm working on, but I see how it can help, definitely. Save yourself all that talking. Okay. Number 5 is personal growth. So having an open attitude towards learning and personal development, it's exciting. Being willing to improve and grow. Without punishing yourself for not being perfect. So some of us hold back from trying new things because obviously if it's new, we may, but most times we won't excel at the first or the second or the fourth try. So, because we feel that that's failure. No, that's just learning. Do we criticize babies when they're starting to walk and they walk 2 steps and then boom, they fall? If anything, we're just like, oh my goodness, how they don't break anything, you know? And we come on, and we put our arms out and come on, right? And then when they take 5 steps and we applaud them until a few months later they're walking and they're running, right? But they have to fall. Learning how to ride a bike, you have to fall. But it doesn't mean failure, it means growth. So try new things. Take a class, a workshop, swimming. You want to learn an instrument. You want to do, some people here are crocheters and knitters. Do new things without the fear that if you don't do it perfectly, it's a bad thing. And share your experience with others, because nobody does it perfect the first time, right? Nothing wrong with it. And as you grow, you'll love yourself more, because actually you'll see your progress. And it's like, look at me now, right? Number 6 is acknowledgement of achievements. Celebrate your successes. Recognize your accomplishments, big or small. This is huge, because we may have grown up and no one ever did that. Mom didn't say, good job, baby. Dad didn't grab us in his arms when we even got 100 on the test. I met someone and he said, my father, when I would come home with hundreds, he said, what, you couldn't do better than this? And he's looking at his mother like, how could I do better than getting 100? This is what happens in households. They're not bad people. They just don't know any better. But you make it a goal, big or small. Celebrate that achievement and appreciate the progress and effort that you put into your goals. Let's see what's going on in the comments over here. Good illustration. Oh, the baby. Joanne says she's going to try it. I would love to, but I don't do that anymore. Marion Bailey. I don't know what you were referring to, Marion. Dimple Face. I was a yes girl when I was younger. Now I'm a no girl. And balance, right? We can't say no to everything, but we do want to take into consideration that we have needs too, right? So please celebrate those accomplishments, those achievements, big or small. And 7 is self-knowledge. Huge. Knowing your values, passions, and goals. That'll help you to make decisions aligned with who you are and what you truly want in life, not what your parents want you to do, or your spouse, or your children, or your neighbor. It's what do you want to do? Because your values may be completely different from someone else's, and you want everything to be in congruency and in alignment, so you can go on a straight path towards your goals. It feels so good, and then when you accomplish the goals, remember, reward yourself, celebrate it. 8 is emotional resilience. Being able to handle adversity and challenges without losing your sense of self-worth. We cannot live in this world without obstacles and challenges. It's impossible. It's a very imperfect world that we live in. So things will happen. But just because we had a goal and we didn't get there in the amount of time that we wanted, perhaps, or it didn't go well for us and we have to start well, or it could be a health challenge or a financial challenge. That's separate from who we are, our worth as a human being. Very different. That does not define you. You define you. So building that emotional resilience help us to say, oh, that didn't go well, or I lost that job, or the interview didn't happen, or they didn't take me for whatever it is, but I'm still worthy. I love myself. I still have self-esteem. We value ourselves. And number 9, balance and healthy self-love allows us to maintain a realistic and positive perspective of ourselves. And that allows us to have a fuller and more satisfying life. Because if we think negatively about ourselves, we can't look at life positively, right? Everything is negative. It's through a lens of negativity. We don't see the good in us. We don't see our accomplishments, or again, we downplay them. Even when others say, "Ooh, we push that away." So those 9 things are important. So somebody may say, well, why don't I have this? Like, why do some people have self-love and I don't? Here are some reasons. Marion Bailey, oh, she said, that's how I say no. Good for you. So here are some reasons why, main reasons why we may have a lack of self-esteem. And all of this information is so that we can learn about ourselves. What I want you to do is write things down, and then when we get off, analyze it. Think about it. Is that why I don't have it? Because again, we're getting to know ourselves, and we have to do the work. It's so worth it though, because that self-knowledge, you're like, oh, that's why. And you connect the dots, because I never heard anyone say good job. So it's hard for me to accept it now as an adult. And it's definitely hard for me to say it to myself. But now that I know that, and I didn't like it then, I'm going to do better for myself, right? Here's the main reason: childhood experiences. Our early experiences in our childhood form us. It could have been a lack of affection. There's some parents that don't hug and kiss. Physical or emotional abuse, abandonment, constant criticism from your parents or caregivers. Excuse me, all of that will lead to a lack of self-love in our adulthood. The way we were treated by the adults in our life influences how we see ourselves and how we treat ourselves. My mom was really good with, well, she's just loving. And when I would walk in the room, she would just smile. You know, it was like, I'm glad to see you. A lot of people don't get even a smile when they walk in. It's like, so what does that tell the child? You're unwanted, you're unneeded. What are you doing here? Get out. Or even the children are to be seen and not heard. We understand why they said that, but it can make a child feel unworthy, unloved. Another one is criticism and rejection, that constant exposure. Criticism, rejection, bullying by peers, even teachers, family members, all can affect our self-image and our self-love. When someone is constantly saying, you can't do that, that looks weird, that's not right, stop that, and it's never anything positive, that becomes our inner dialogue, extremely critical of anything we do. And it just brings us down further, deeper and deeper into a lack of self-love. So dangerous. Also comparing, social comparisons. Uh-oh, we got some. Uh-oh, Roxy Ebony says, you define you. That's right, girl. I like that. We live in a society that constantly compares people and values, and sometimes our parents. Why can't you be like your cousin so-and-so? Or why can't you be like that boy over there or that girl? Social media now exacerbates, right, this tendency of comparing ourselves, because nobody puts a bad picture on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. It's all the perfect, it's the lighting, everything. And we can compare ourselves to others, and that can erode our self-love. Here's another one: unrealistic expectations. We can have high, unrealistic expectations of ourselves instilled by family, culture, or the media, right? And that can lead to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem. When we don't meet the standards because they're unrealistic, they're too high, we could never reach them. So we're setting ourselves up for failure. And then, of course, the psychological disorders, that is chemical imbalances in the brain that causes depression, anxiety, eating disorders. Not the depression, people throw that word around, oh, I went to the mall, I didn't get my shoes, and I'm so depressed. No, depressed in this chemical way that you wake up and your brain is not providing the dopamine hormone and the serotonin, all the hormones, and you perhaps need medication to provide that. So those disorders can, of course, distort our self-perception and significantly diminish our self-esteem. Some have had traumatic experiences, the loss of a loved one, a parent at a young age, a serious accident may be debilitating them, an extremely stressful event. something going on in the house can impact our self-love, like parents divorcing, separating. That's extremely stressful and traumatic for children. And it can make us say, well, did I cause, especially children, they blame themselves. Did I cause that? Right? Also, lack of social support, right? We don't have friends and family who provide social support that can contribute to building us up. But when we don't have it, it could be because we isolate, because we compare and we feel inferior. So we isolate and we don't have that support system. You see the cycle? We don't have good self-esteem or self-love. And then it could also be negative role models, right? Growing up in the household with parents or caregivers who had low self-esteem or destructive behaviors. How could a child of an alcoholic have good self-esteem when they wake up and their dad is on the floor in a drunken stupor from the night before? That's a reflection of me. That's my dad. So, or there's domestic violence in the house. There's no way those children can can feel love for themselves. It just doesn't happen. And here's the last one, perfectionism. You know, we had to talk about it. The need to be perfect in everything. That leads to constant self-evaluation and self-criticism. Because I'm going to share a secret with you. Perfectionism, perfection does not exist. Perfection does not exist. So we're trying to attain something that doesn't exist. It's unhealthy, it's unreasonable, and we want everything to be perfect. So either we wear ourselves out trying to attain it, but if we're perfectionists, we still never get to the level that we want to get to. And so we're a constant failure in our minds, and then that diminishes our self-love. Isn't it interesting? So understanding the causes can be an important first step towards developing healthy and balanced self-love. So here are 10 steps. We're almost done. 10 steps to heal us from a lack of self-love. You ready? And we can start working on it. Will it happen overnight? No. If we're in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, we've had a lifetime of not feeling self-love, and we have to work at it, but it has to be intentional and continual. Okay? What did I just say? What did I just say? I don't know what I just said, but it has to be continual. Number one, recognition and self-acceptance. Identify the negative patterns. What do I say to myself? What are my thoughts and behaviors that contribute to the self-love? And write it down. We need to accept our strengths and our weaknesses without harsh judgment. Remember that when we go to, how could I do? That leads to number two, self-compassion and kindness. Practice self-compassion. Be kind and understanding with yourself, especially when you make a mistake or you have a difficulty. Remember, treat yourself with the same kindness you would a friend. Okay? And avoid excessive self-criticism. Replace self-criticism. That was, and I hate even to say it, but I was so stupid. Oh, that's a terrible thing to say to ourselves. No, you tried and it didn't work out. We're going to try again. We're going to do it another way. Okay? And say positive affirmations to ourselves. You can do this. You got this. My favorite is all is well in my world. Okay? Because it's true. Establish healthy boundaries. We talked about that. Learning to say no. Clear boundaries to protect our time and our energy. Prioritize our own needs. Make sure that before we're committing to the needs of others, oh, sure, I'll help you. Where's our checklist? Did I take care of my needs first? Because that's very important. I can't give from an empty cup, not even a half empty cup. And remember, I got to put my oxygen mask on first. Do your to-do list first. Prioritize you. Very important. Number four is personal care and self-care. Create self-care routines. It could be, oh yeah, I'm going to exercise Monday to Friday, 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to eat a salad every day. I'm going to set aside this time, even if I don't sleep, I don't take a nap, but just to sit quietly, turn my phone off. I'm going to give myself 20 to 25 minutes just to have time to myself, just to decompress and rest. Close my eyes, look out, sit on the outside, look at the water, whatever. I'm going to take time for myself. And it's non-negotiable. We set that time and we don't, that's on our priority list. Get adequate sleep. Make sure we get the necessary rest so we can maintain good mental health. And when we do these things, it may seem selfish. Uh-oh, Marion Bailey says she's in her 80s. Go girl, I love it. It may seem selfish, like how can I do, but how can I prioritize my needs? But when we do that, what we don't realize is now we can give not just, okay, this cup is half full. We want our cup to be full always. And then what overflows, if we kept pouring into this cup, what overflows, all of this is for the rest of the world, our family, our friends, our job. But we can't have our cup like this. This isn't even half full. What are we giving to people? It's fumes. It doesn't even have high value. When we fill up our cup and we keep it full, then what we give is out of our abundance. Oh, and it's the cream of the crop. People benefit so much more from what we give. And we're not giving it with a bad attitude. We don't develop resentment towards them because they take, no, because my cup is always full because I prioritize me. So sure, I can help because now whatever's overflowing, let's do it, right? We have to keep our cup full. And another thing, develop a support network. We can't go through this life by ourselves. Sometimes we're surrounded by others, good people, and we feel so inferior, inadequate, unlovable, unworthy that we like have this wall up. And we have real quality people around us that perhaps are even, because they see the good in us and they're trying to get close. And we just, we put that barrier and they feel it, but they feel you're worth it, so they keep trying. Put the wall down little by little. It's worth it. People need people, and we need quality people around us. Again, we don't want toxic relationships, but we want to have people that are growing along with us. We're making positive changes and we want them to come with us and form your tribe and really enjoy them. Share your feelings with them. We were taught, don't share private family business. What goes on in here stays here. Don't you go talk, right? That's what we were taught. But we have to have somebody that we can trust, an intimate friend that we can talk to, share our thoughts and feelings with. We got to bounce stuff off of people that we trust, right? And then we could always seek professional help, a therapist or a coach, if we need more one-on-one assistance with this, because this is deep. These are deeply entrenched feelings, emotions that we've had for years. It's not easy. I can just, I know my worth. It takes time. So if you need assistance, reach out. We're here to help you. Okay. And again, personal development and self-exploration. Know yourself, explore your values. What are my passions? What are my goals? Make a list, go for them. What are you waiting for? Do it. Do it for yourself. We all have them, but it's like, oh, it's easier to help this one with their goal and be in this one's life. No, remember, prioritize me, my list, and then I can help, because that list is filling up your cup. When you are full, when your cup is full all the time, you operate differently. It's like having $10,000 in your checking account right now, and your bills monthly are $3,000. And so you always have a surplus of 7,000. You sleep good. Anything comes up, oh, the car, it's a $900 cost. I got it. Oh, we want to go out to dinner. I got it. But you still keep that cushion. You have at least $5,000, $6,000 just cushion in case, right? But if your expenses are $3,000 and you have $3,000.50 in your account, it's tight. And what if you have $2,999 in your account? You can't even make it. But what if you just had $2,000 in the account? You can't do your bills, your monthly bills. That's what we're trying to do when we're exhausted, we're overspent, we've overextended ourselves, we've overbooked ourselves, and now we're helping so and so with so and so. No, but we think that that's being selfless and giving, and that's what people deserve. But she asked me, and then sometimes I was told, sometimes they don't even ask us. Oh, we want to just do it for everybody. But we can't. We burn out. We get angry. We're resentful. We're flustered. We don't have patience. And it's all because we didn't fill up our cup with the $3,000, and we definitely don't have that $6,000 overflow. But you have a $6,000 overflow. Somebody asked you, "Hey, can I borrow $50? I'll give it back to you." Yeah. It doesn't cause you any anxiety because you still have a nice cushion. Does that make sense? Chica MB, hey, I didn't see you come in. You said you love all the advice and steps. I'm glad. And Miss Queen says half giving, half full giving hurts. It does. Ooh, it's not good. We have to stop. And we feel that that's being Christian. We have to sacrifice, but sacrifice with your cup full. Again, you have this abundance, this overflow. That's what people get. And this is sweet. They feel it. They'll feel the difference. And they probably won't even ask for so much because what you're giving them is like gold. It's complete. It's not tattered up and shaken and all messed up. You're giving them something that's complete and beautiful, and they get it, and it's like, oh, people feel when we give out of want, when our cup is like this and we're giving, and they feel when we give out of abundance. And you keep your smile because you're rested. You're happy because you're pursuing you're rested because you get your rest. You're happy and fulfilled because you're setting your goals and you're going after them. My cousin told me the other day, she said, "Karen, since you've been doing these lives, I just see you so happy." And it is, I feel like there's this light inside of me and there's this thing. And it's just like, I'm so excited about life. Who knew, right? I love this. It feeds me. And when we give from that point of view, happy, we're filled up, got our goals going, feeling our purpose in life, pursuing our passions, getting our rest, eating good, getting our exercise. Oh, now we can give. Wow. And people are like, whoa, they feel it. They will feel the difference. Try it out and let me know. Okay, try it. And let me know even how you feel about giving after that. Another thing is practicing gratitude. I encourage you, have a gratitude journal. And you don't have to write it in it every day. It will be nice if you could put 1 to 2 things. But even if it's once a week, because we're busy, write down things. Sometimes I put, oh, my mattress was I'm so thankful for it. I slept so good. Thank you to my feet that carry me around, get me everywhere I need to go. My vision, my sight, my brain, right? Having a job that takes care of my needs, a computer so I can get on YouTube. It can be simple things. But look for the good, look for the things that we're grateful for. There's a lot of people that don't have the things that we have because of where we live. We're spoiled here. Be grateful for them and practice it, and it'll help us stay focused on the good. There are some good comments over here. Marion says she loves the full cup. And Marie said non-negotiable. Love that. Yes. Dr. Jesso, we didn't prioritize. Gotta prioritize ourselves. Okay, Dimple Face says, I have to prioritize my needs because of chronic illnesses. I'm grateful to have a family that's supportive and recognize when I need a mental break. Nice. And you know what, Dimple Face, even if they don't recognize it, you recognize it. And that's you prioritizing yourself, giving yourself what you need. And then you can, when you know that, then you vocalize it to, hon, you know, I need this and I need some time with you. Well, I need to rest today. I need 3 hours to rest or do puzzles, whatever it is. And we can help our family help us because people can't guess what's going on in our minds. People don't guess what if we're exhausted. They could see it, but they might still want us to do something else. We have to, I can't, I won't. I'm going to bed. I'm going to take a little nap, right? Or I'm going to the beach. I'm going to take a walk on the beach, whatever it is. Challenge our negative thoughts, identify those negative thoughts, try to catch them quick, and then twist it around so we build up our self-esteem. And the last one is patience and perseverance. Be patient with yourself. It cannot, will not happen overnight. You've spent decades. We have somebody in their 80s here, decades feeling like this, dealing with this. We just want to make improvements. And again, we're not going to judge ourselves. We're not going to be very critical and harsh. Loving, kind, compassionate. I'll do better the next time. Ooh, look at that. And write them down, you know, or you might put a check somewhere. Ah, I said it again. You'll be surprised if when you become aware of your inner dialogue, that negative self-talk, the things that you're saying to yourself, like you wouldn't say that to your child or to your good friend or to your spouse. Well, you know, if he's behaving, you wouldn't say it, right? But yeah, if we wouldn't say it to someone else, we shouldn't say it to ourselves. We have to be loving to ourselves. So let's work on it. We can heal emotionally from a lack of self-love. It's an ongoing process. Let's just keep at it and it will benefit us. We will shine bright. We'll be happy. People say, wow, you looking good, girl. You're like, thank you. It shines out. We do the work inwardly and the outward just shows. And you know where else it reflects? In our environment, in our home, in our job, because when we change, others change around us. It's a beautiful thing, but nothing can change if we don't change. So we gotta do it. You deserve it. Give yourself that time. Prioritize you. Okay. I think that's all the messages. Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock, guys. This has been wonderful. Alejandro is gonna put the WhatsApp chat if you want to be on our WhatsApp chat so that you can he's so good, it's already there. So that you can get updates of what we're doing in Vimes Life. A few of you, this is your first time here. I'm here every Monday at 8 p.m. with good topics. We had done Anne-Marie said, thanks, great topic. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Anne-Marie was part of it because we did a poll in that chat. It's called Emotional Wellness Coach Karen Marinez. And we asked what topics people were interested in. This was the number one that was voted on. And the next few weeks we'll be doing the others because they're all good things. Joanne said you love the topic. I'm so glad, Joanne. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And it's so good to have everybody here. Roxy, Ebony, great topic. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. I appreciate it. Share, like, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next week. Big hugs. Love you guys so much. Bye now. Plant you now, dig you later, as my dad used to say. Bye-bye.
If you're watching this video, it is because you're looking to make changes and create order in your environment, which is a reflection of how orderly your cranial universe is. Yes, your wonderful brain is asking for a change. When we created this workshop called UCO with 4 masterclasses for full activation, the first thing I did was to put it in practice in my life. Here in Vimes, everything that we teach is effectively tested, and in my case, the results were amazing. The truth is that when your brain is organized, everything around you becomes organized. As explained by Tao Rivallo, a psychologist who specialized in cognitive behavioral therapy, cleanliness and order greatly influence our mental health. Human beings tend to always search for a balance, both internally and externally, and that has to do with our environment. If we look around, everything requires order, even in nature. So we're programmed for that order. I've experienced enormous changes in my life by applying certain things. I thought I was a very organized person, but the truth was I didn't realize I was rigid. So the question arises, what is the difference between being orderly and being rigid? Well, our health helps us to answer that question. If to keep your environment clean and beautiful and your life in order with an agenda and a good schedule, you end up with body pain, pain in your back, a tense neck, I assure you that you are rigid. You're not enjoying the process of being organized. This is a sign that enters your brain, and the brain then sends that message to your beautiful body, and there go the aches and pains. On the contrary, if you enjoy doing what you're doing while you're doing your chores, you fulfill your daily goals, you start by writing them down without spending a whole lot of time on it and no stress, then it means you're doing it really well. You're relaxed, and your body's like, this is good. It tells you when you finish your task to even applaud yourself and say, job well done. Now rest. That was my case, and then that was of the first participants as well, their experience of the Masterclass UCO, which is short for Organized Cranial Universe. From rigidity when organizing their environment and their life in general, they discovered that flexibility is the key, and they began to see with each workshop challenge that organizing can be relaxing and positive in every aspect. Now let's talk about the benefits you'll get by doing your UCO workshop. First, you'll learn simple techniques that are very effective when it comes to organizing yourself at home, work, or even with schoolwork. Your personal organization from this moment will be very different. The second is you will optimize your mental health while your environment is organized, achieving full balance. Remember, mental health is fundamental in every aspect of our lives. Third, you will enjoy the accompaniment of an instructor who's a coach. You'll have daily communication with her and with your classmates. This is something other online academies do not offer. You will have the skills to put into practice with your family and with everyone else who wants to. And we could also mention that the support material you receive is unlike any other. In the information of this Masterclass UCO, you have everything in detail regarding the benefits of doing this amazing, organized cranial universe workshop.